Hi guys, it's Miss King on Christmas break, working on things for you because I love you that much. So I have downloaded a cool new program because hopefully I've already told you that we're going to start centers this 9 weeks. Okay, so that requires that you guys are a lot more independent and mature and hardworking, but I know you can do it. So to help you along though, to make sure we're getting stuff, some of the stations or centers are going to have videos of me helping you guys out, either beforehand to build that background knowledge or after to help you check your work. The language center is one where I'm going to help you check your work. Okay, you should have already attempted week 1, day 1, and done your bell ringer. All right, so now hopefully you've looked back over it, double checked it, and are ready for me to check it with you. Okay, so rewrite these sentences correctly. On Saturday, wait, let me get my little pen. On Saturday, Grandma Avery will going sailing on the ocean. Okay, so what we're focusing on today, capitalization. So, what is the first word that should be capitalized and isn't? On, because we always capitalize the first word of every sentence. Now, whenever you're proofreading and something needs to be capitalized, you put 3 little lines underneath it. Okay? Or you were supposed to rewrite these sentences correctly, so you would have just capitalized the O. What's the next word? Saturday. Does Saturday need to be capitalized? Yes, because it is a day of the week. A specific day of a week. The name of a thing. Oops, that little line was next. On Saturday, technically there would be a comma there. On Saturday, comma, Grandma Avery will going sailing on the ocean. Grandma Avery. So now, we have to think about our capitalization rules. We capitalize the name of a thing or a person or a place. So, grandmother. If I just say, I have a grandmother, that's just talking about a person, okay? But if I say Grandma Avery, Grandma Jess, that I'm using that as her name, the name of a person, so it is capitalized. So in this case, if I'm using it as her name, then it is capitalized. So for example, if I was saying, that is my mom over there, I'm just kind of referencing her. That's my mom. But if I say, hey mom, would you please make me some grilled cheese with no crust? I use mom as her name, and it would be capitalized. So Grandma Avery would be capitalized in this one. On Saturday, comma, Grandma Avery will going sailing on the ocean. Okay, hopefully, I know that all of you noticed will going is not correct. Grandma Avery will go. We're gonna delete that ing. That's a little delete symbol. It's like a pig's tail, like curly Q. Will go sailing on the ocean. Do we have a mark at the end of our sentence? Yes, we do. Okay, so there's nothing else we have to fix in that one. On to number 2. Everybody look at number 2. I and the first word of a sentence are always capitalized. Is I capitalized? Yes, so we don't have to worry about it. I read an interesting article about kayaking in the magazine Sea Explorer. I read a interesting. If it is in front of a vowel, making a vowel sound, instead of a, we use an. So I'm going to delete that a and put in, that's the little add sign. And I read an interesting article. Now I know we're focusing on capitalization, but we're still going to go ahead and correct the other things. But I want you have to have the capitalization corrected. Go ahead and correct these two, but make sure you're understanding the capitalization. Article should be ARTICLE. L. Article. An interesting article about kayaking in the magazine Sea Explorer. Magazine titles are like book titles. Okay? If we're typing, they're italicized, they're slanted. If we are writing, they are underlined. Alright, so you should have Sea Explorer underlined. Now, titles are also capitalized. Is this already capitalized for us? Yes, so we don't have to. But if it wasn't, you would need to capitalize Sea and Explorer. Okay, let's look at number 3. During the last decade, windsurfing has blank more popular. Alright, we're going to start with answer choice D. Gotten. Is that a word? So I'm going to mark it out. Has gotten more popular. Okay, that's a maybe. Windsurfing has get more popular. Windsurfing has getted more popular. Once again, getted is not a word. So we are left with gotten, which you should have written in that blank right there. Windsurfing has gotten more popular. Does that make sense? So for number 4, this one could have been any variety of answers. So you're going to write a sentence, complete sentence with a subject, a verb, a capital letter in the beginning, and a period at the end. A complete sentence about swimming is the most popular water sport. Okay? It could be as simple as that. Swimming is the most popular water sport. It could be a little bit more complex. Swimming has recently become the most popular water sport because you don't have to have equipment. Okay? Because if you think about it, some other water sports like jet skis, water skis, you have to have a boat or expensive equipment or a jet ski. So swimming makes sense to be the most popular because more people have access to it. So it could be any level as long as it has all those words in it, swimming, and something about it being the most popular water sport, as long as it makes sense, as long as you have your subject, your verb, capital letter, and closing punctuation. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you have done day 2. If you have not done day 2, you need to pause this, go do day 2, and then come back and watch it. Okay, we are about to check day 2. So, I'm sorry, I have to, unfortunately, go back to my email to pull it up. Whoops. 1 second. Okay. All right, day 2. Let's do a different color. We'll do blue. Let me make sure it was the right pen size. Yep. Okay. So we're going to do this just like the last one. You should have already completed day 2. We're going to check it so that we can make sure we're on the right track and try to make sure, okay, do I understand why that was the answer? Especially talking about capitalization. Okay, because that's our focus. So I'm going to go ahead and correct the others just so you can start learning those or refresh your memory. But what you need to be focusing on is the capitalization. So number 1, did you finish reading the chapter called Training Your Dog? Okay, so first word of our sentence, did. Always needs to be capitalized. So put my 3 little lines, 2, 3. Did you finish reading the chapter called Training Your Dog? Okay, so this is the name of a thing. It's the name of a chapter. So, training, 1, 2, 3, your, 1, 2, 3, and dog, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, the name of a book we underline or put in italics. Same thing with the magazine title. But if it is a piece, if it is a chapter or an article, it gets quotation marks. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and oops, they go inside the quotation mark. My bad. Alright. Sentence numero dos. Michelle always uses toys to reward her dog's well behavior. Georgia. Speaking of dogs, I don't know if you can see or not, but this is Georgia. Say hi, Georgia. Hopefully you can see her. Georgia, get down. Okay. So, Michelle, look at how nice they were. It's the name of a person in the first word of the sentence, and they capitalized it for us. Aw. Michelle always uses toys to reward her dog's well behavior. Okay, Michelle always uses toys. So far, so good. To reward. All right. Her dog's well behavior. Okay. Hopefully that sounded a little off. It sounded a little off to me. And that's a good hint that something is not right. Her dog's well behavior. First off, do we say well behavior? No. Well has to do with how you're feeling. Good is how do you do something. So he is behaving good. He is doing good. Good behavior. G O O D. I apologize for my handwriting. Okay. Let me make sure my sound is up. Okay. Good behavior. Now, the next thing. Dogs. Is it saying that's showing that she has more than one dog? But really what we're saying is this dog has possession of good behavior. What do we use to show possession? Apostrophes. So we need her dog's apostrophe S, her dog's good behavior. The good behavior of her dog. The good behavior belonging to her dog. Alright, so apostrophe S. Oh, and behavior is misspelled. B-E-H-A-V-I-O-R. O. Alright, write the missing word. Number 3. Michelle doesn't blank treats to reward her dog. Michelle doesn't ever use no treats to reward her dog. Michelle never used no treats to reward her dog. Michelle doesn't ever use any treats to reward her dog. Michelle doesn't never use any treats to reward her dog. Okay, so I know this is in capitalization, but it doesn't hurt us anyway. This is where it's talking about double negatives. You should not have more than one negative in a sentence, okay? Unless there's clauses and stuff, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So, in one verb set, there should not be more than one negative because they kind of cancel each other out. And it's just considered improper English, okay? So, Michelle doesn't ever use no. Well, we already have one negative right here. What is that N apostrophe T? What does doesn't stand for? Does not. That's a negative. Michelle doesn't ever use no. Oh, there's another negative. That makes a double negative. Not okay. Okay. Michelle doesn't never use no. Never is a negative. No is a negative. That's a triple negative. That's just extra bad. No. Michelle doesn't ever use any treats to reward her dog. Okay. We're going to say that as a maybe. Michelle doesn't never use any treats to reward her dog. Nope. So, Michelle doesn't ever use any treats to reward her dog. Does that sound right? Yeah. All right. So, that is the answer you should have written right there. Circle the contraction that replaces the underlined words. Ooh. If you could see her dog now, you would be surprised how smart he is. You'd, you would. Okay. So, hopefully you can see there are some nonsense words here. Yuled, is that a word? No. You would, no. You'd, okay, you'd be surprised how smart he is. Maybe. You'd, once again. Nope. The correct answer would be you'd. You would be surprised how smart he is. Okay, so now you are going to go and do day 3. Look over it, check it, and then once your table's done, come back and unpause it. Okay, pause it now. Okay, here is day 3. I'm sorry it takes me a minute because I have to go to my email. It's kind of a pain and I apologize. All right, so hopefully you should have done day 3 now. Okay, and you're ready to check it with me. So once again, focus on capitalization, but we might as well fix everything else while we're at it. Okay, write the sentences correctly. Now remember, you should be writing these. But since I'm not going to torture you with my painfully slow and awful handwriting when I'm having to use the little mouse, I'm just using proofreading marks. Okay, but make sure this is correct on yours so that when I grade this, you get 100. There's no reason for anyone to not get 100 on this. Okay, number 1. The most popularist horse novel is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. So, the first word in our sentence is not capitalized. That is a problem. First word is always capitalized. Capitalize the most popularist. All right. So, most and is should never be at the same place because they mean the same thing. Some words you use most, okay, most popular. Some words you use ist, fastest. I wouldn't say most fast. I definitely wouldn't say most fastest. So it's either going to use most or ist. Usually if it's more than 2 syllables, popular, 3 syllables, we use most. So we can delete the est. Most popular horse novel is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. So, do we see something else that needs to be capitalized? Yes. What we have here is a novel. Novel is another word for book. Oh. Like I said, it's bad. I know. I'm sorry. All right. That's a book. Is Black Beauty. What do we always do to the title of books? If we're typing, we put them in the italicized little slanted letters. Put them in italics. If we are writing, we underline it. Okay. By Anna Sewell. We have a person's name. Should it be capitalized? Yes. Is it capitalized? Yes. Do we have to do anything? Nope. Uh-oh, my computer's running low. All right. So, number 2. The horse was owned by many people, but Mr. Skinner was the worst one. The horse was owned. Was shows past tense, so owned. E-D. By many people, but Mr. Skinner was the worst one. Okay. When we have but, that's called a coordinating conjunction. So, do we have a complete sentence on this side? Horse was owned. Subject, verb, check. Mr. Skinner was. Subject, verb, check. 2 complete sentences if they were by themselves. So when we combine them with a coordinating conjunction, we also have to have a comma. Comma, but Mr. Skinner was the worst one. Okay, so worst is if there's 2 people. Worst with a T is if there's 3 or more. That's where we have to go back and look at our sentence. The horse was owned by many people. That means more than 2. So he was the worst. W-O-R-S-T 1. Number 3, write a descriptive word in each blank. Okay, this is up to you as long as it's an adjective. We could say the black stallion leapt, the dark stallion leapt, the beautiful stallion leapt, high over the white fence, leapt gracefully over the wooden fence, leapt courageously over the barbed wire fence. Okay, as long as it's an adjective and makes sense. If you're not sure, why don't you have your partner read it and just say, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Spell the underlined word correctly. Black Beauty's favorite. All right. Favorite. Favorite. Okay, now you're going to pause and do day 4. You know the drill, then come back, pause, now. Okay, you should have gone and done day 4. Now you're here with me to check it. Okay, we've only got 2 more left. Y'all are doing awesome. I hope you're working hard, staying motivated, staying focused, showing me that y'all are awesome 6th graders ready to move on to 7th grade. Okay, once again, write the sentences correctly. Dad made himself comfortable in a chair to read today's newspaper. This one has a lot of errors. All right, let's do a different color. We'll do orange. Dad. First off, it's first word of sentence. Second off, it's using it as his name. So it definitely needs to be capitalized. Made himself. Himself is not a word. Him. I. M. S. E. L. F. Okay. F-O. Comfort. Comfort. C-O-M-F-O-R-T-A-B-L-E. So there should be an O instead of the E. And a chair to read today's newspaper. This is the newspaper of today. The newspaper belonging to today. Is it saying that there's like 3 todays? No. It's saying that's the newspaper from today. So, if it's showing possession, showing ownership, what do we need? Apostrophe S. Apostrophe before the S. Number 2. My family wants to see a movie, but I myself would rather read a book. My family, first word's capitalized, check. Wants to see a movie, but I is always capitalized. Myself. Is that a word? No. Myself, would rather read a book. All right. So there's one more mistake. My family wants to see a movie. Could I put a period there to be a complete sentence? Yeah, it's got a subject and a verb. I myself would rather read a book. Okay. Sorry, hold on one second. Sorry about that. I myself would rather read a book. Is that a complete sentence? I myself would rather read a book. Yeah, we got a subject. We got a verb. Check. Once again, we have a coordinating conjunction. There has to be a comma, coordinating conjunction, when it's combining 2 complete sentences. Comma. Add punctuation to the sentence. Are we going to recite the poem we learned, The Road Not Taken, at the next assembly? Okay, so we already have our question mark. Are we going to recite the poem we learned, comma, as this is called an appositive. It's renaming poem. It's telling which poem, comma, before and after. Now, what do we do for the name of a poem? Poems are like articles or book chapters. They get quotation marks. Quotation marks. Okay. And look, sorry, I should have made this a little bit clearer, but those are after that comma, and these are past it. Okay, so this comma is outside, this comma is inside the quotation marks. Replace the underlined word with a more positive word. Alyssa and Marco had a long argument about the article. What's a more positive word? The one that came to my mind was discussion. You could also say conversation or talk, because argument kind of has a negative connotation. You think about people arguing, they're angry. So a more positive word, oh, just a conversation, a discussion that make think academic.